What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at Gone Baby Gone, directed by Ben Affleck, starring an all-star cast that includes Casey Affleck, Michelle Monaghan, Morgan Freeman, and Ed Harris. Gone Baby Gone tells the story of these two private investigators who, working with the Boston Police Department, are on the hunt to search for this little girl who has been kidnapped from her home. While all the while, they start to unravel a conspiracy. So, Gone Baby Gone, my initial thoughts. I thought this was a great mystery thriller. This is actually Ben Affleck's first real outing as a feature length director, and for a first time, I think he hit it out of the park. From a production standpoint, this is an absolutely great looking movie. Ben Affleck captured the really captured that thriller atmosphere that film noir thriller atmosphere with this movie. This movie has a grounded, realistic feel to it. The fact that it all takes place in Boston, in a neighborhood that could be no different than yours or mine, and something like this happens, it just adds that certain amount of realism to this movie. Like, I never felt this movie is like heightened or any way. I never felt this movie is trying to be a Hollywood glamour glitz. No, this movie is dirty, it's gritty, and I love it for it. I mean, and no, that this movie is also incredibly dark. This is a dark movie, and it's backed by a strong cast who that I had mentioned earlier. Casey Affleck is the lead in this movie, and I thought Casey Affleck he put on a very underrated performance in this movie. Now, I am not the biggest Casey Affleck fan. I never cared for any of his movies. To be honest with you, I've only known Casey Affleck as for his cameos in the American Pie movies. That's just pretty much it. And and Interstellar, which I only saw once. But as a lead, Casey Affleck, I thought held his own as the character of Patrick. I thought he was really good, and he really made Patrick come across as like a he as someone trying to do the right thing, who comes into a lot of conflict, particularly with some morals when you get near the end of the movie. But he still holds his ground. And I thought Casey did a really good job at emoting those emotions, and I thought he did a really good job at just overall making Patrick into a likable type of character. Michelle Monaghan, who plays Angie, his partner and girlfriend, I thought she did a good job in her role as well. I liked the chemistry between the two actors. I thought they worked really well off one another, and I liked them as an investigative team, and it worked for me. Ed Harris, who plays one of the lead cops named Remy Passant. I like Ed Harris, and I liked him in this movie. I thought he was great as Remy Passant. I thought he did put on a fantastic. I thought he did another good job. I like the budding relationship that happens between him and with the character of Patrick, and of course. I also like the deterioration of said relationship once Patrick starts to unravel this conspiracy theory, and we learn that the little girl who was kidnapped, well, there's a lot more to the story. Apparently, the little girl is from a crack house. Her mother's a crack whore. Her mother, Helene, played really well by Amy Ryan. Well, the little girl's mother, she's a cokehead, and she's also running drugs for this drug dealer named Cheese, played by Eddie Gethy. So the uncle, played by Titus Welliver, named Lionel, pretty much develops this entire conspiracy theory to stage a kidnapping, just to pretty much teach so that pretty much that Lionel can teach his sister a lesson, and the only way Lionel can teach her sister a lesson is to stage a kidnapping, so that his niece, in his mind, can go on to live a more normal life in a more positive environment, and not this white trash environment that she's being brought up in. Now, this is where Patrick's morals comes into play. He knows that he has to do the right thing by taking the little girl to his mother, but at the same time, as a viewer, we know what her mother is like. We know that she is a drug addict. We know that she runs drugs. She's involved with bad people. We don't want to see this little girl in an environment like that where she could end up like her mother or even worse. So the conflict with Patrick is that he can do the right thing and have the little girl stay with the Morgan Freeman character, who is actually the one who is the who plays the police captain named Jack Doyle, who had lost his daughter, and now he's pretty much fathering the little girl now. Or he can do the moral thing and pretty much return the little girl back to her mother. Now, eventually, he ends up returning the little girl back to her mother, but we are pretty much left to decide: did he really make the right decision? Was that really the right call? And this really, this and to me, this really sums up the Patrick character. He's a character with a moral compass, and when you watch this movie, you come to learn that he's always going to do the moral thing. There's this great scene where there's a shootout at a crack house, and he shoots this child molester after he finds the body of a little boy, and of course this rocks him to his very foundation, and this leads to a very great scene between the character of Patrick and Remy, where Remy tells Patrick a story about this family of a husband who was beating his family, and then he got struck back, and then he planted evidence as a way to save the family, and he did that by using a rat. So by using a rat, it just so happens that the rat he used is also a rat that named Ray, that the character of Patrick used, and that the character of Patrick knows, and this Ray character was also messing around with the Helen character. So pretty much Remy knew who these people were before this kidnapping ever happened. And this is where the mystery really starts to unravel, and this is where all the pieces get put into place, and we find out exactly what happened. And I thought, for the most part, from a writing standpoint, I thought they fleshed it out really well. I thought Ben Affleck did a good job at delivering that message, and also delivering throughout this entire movie, just in general. This movie is not. This is not an action movie. This movie has very little action to it, but you don't need that. This is a detective story, and it's a detective story done right. I mean, if I have any issues with it, I think Morgan Freeman is maybe just a little bit underutilized in this movie. I don't think he has enough scenes. The cheese character, pretty much being like a patsy, it's whatever to me. This movie also features Michael K. Williams, and his character just serves is just in one scene, and that's pretty much it. Doesn't really do anything. So like, you have certain actors and you got certain characters who were just there that could have been fleshed out upon just a little bit more from my personal taste. Uh, but overall, I think Gone Baby Gone is a fantastic movie. I think it's a great mystery thriller, and if you have not seen this, definitely give it a watch because you will not be disappointed. And my overall grade is going to be a solid 9 out of 10. I enjoyed Gone Baby Gone. Highly recommend it. Give it a watch. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Gone Baby Gone. Let me know yours in the comment sections down below. Like the video and subscribe. And I will check you back next time for more.